To Knicks Chicks family, welcome back to another episode. I'm your girl, lady, and the chef, and I'm joined by my co-host today.
Relax 21. What's good?
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two Knicks Chicks. Today, I pretty much wanted us to recap because the Knicks did have a back-to-back game where they played the Indiana Pacers, lost that game. That one was disappointing because I felt like you allowed a team who had just lost four in a row um, get their win against you in a game that the Knicks should have won, quite frankly. But the Knicks did rebound when they played the 76ers yesterday and literally put a beat down on the Sixers, which was a good game, right? And we got to see more of Alvarado. But the Pacers game, I do want to go back to that game and kind of discuss that game on its own. The Knicks did play on Tuesday against Indiana, who are now 14 and 40, thanks to the Knicks. The Knicks lost. No, I when I look at the stats on paper, Mikal Bridges played 43 minutes, had 22 points. He was 9 for 15, 2 for 6 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 for free throws. He did have 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He had a steal and a block as well, and only one turnover. Josh Hart played 41 minutes, had 15 points. He was 5 for 8, 2 for 3 from the 3-point line, 3 for 4 free throw wise. He did have 11 rebounds. He had 11 assists, which is wild. So Josh essentially finished with a triple double. Carl Anthony Towns played 32 minutes. He had a double double with 22 points, 14 rebounds. Landry Shamet played 38 minutes, had 17 points. He was 4 for 11 from the 3-point line. Jalen Brunson, 42 minutes, played 40 points. He was 15 for 31, 4 for 14 from the 3-point line. He was 6 for 8 from the free throw line. He had 5 boards, 8 assists, 1 steal, and only 1 turnover. Muhammad Diawara, quiet game from him, 18 minutes. Excuse me. He only had 3 points. So not the best game from him. Ariel Porty did play a good amount of minutes as well with 21 minutes. He had 7 points. Jose Alvarado, which I heard for Jose Alvarado, they said that he was, I guess, a little nervous because he was playing um, at the Garden. That was his first game at the Garden. So, yeah, he played 18 minutes, had 4 points. He was 1 for 5. He was 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. Jordan Clarkson, 13 minutes, 4 points, 2 for 4. And Tyler Kolek, I don't even know why he showed up because he didn't even play any minutes. But it just, I don't know. I just felt like the score, first of all, was very neck and neck. The Knicks were trading baskets the whole game with Indiana, which is quite frustrating. And when I saw that, and I saw the Knicks weren't able to break away, I was like, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but the Knicks are playing with their food right now. Um, the 3-pointers wasn't to the Knicks' advantage in that game. Free throws as well. They were 20 for 27 at 74%. Just wasn't good. I mean, yeah, they did have they shared the ball with 33 assists. They only had 12 turnovers, so not too bad. They did outbeat the Pacers with points off turnovers at 21 to the Indiana 6. They did have 20 fast break points, and then they did get points in the paint. They had 60 to Indiana's 48. But for some reason, when the Knicks play Indiana, I don't know what it is, but we could never hold Pascal Siakam. Like he does whatever he wants to do. He played 37 minutes. He had 30 points, 6 rebounds, four assists, 3 steals. He had a game, and Nemhard had a pretty good game with 24 points as well. But I don't know, man. Every time we played them, and for some reason, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Indiana played the Nets the next day, and a few guys were out. But when teams play the Knicks, they're available. They're at 100% good health. They're ready to play. Um, but I don't know. What were your takeaways from that Pacers game matchup with the Knicks?
Not much. That's all I gotta say. End the story. No, but on a serious note, it's games like this where you question the Knicks' fortitude. You play down to teams like the Pacers. You saw what they did to you last season, and their best players out. Like, not that that's an excuse. Well, yeah, we're gonna win this game, but you still like you question it because you went into overtime, and even with overtime, you still got a chance to possibly win. But again, you came up short. And it's like the waste of possessions and just the effort itself was just a wasted effort. Josh a triple double, Brunson 40 points. We know he's gonna score. Cat he had a double double, but it's you just question their mindset and like where they at and where they going. You know, is the identity there? Sometimes you question it like, well, yeah, they locked in and they in sync, and then it's games like this, like you like, nah, they're not there yet. Like,
Yeah.
they can't be. They just can't be. And this was a winnable game, and they just for whatever reason, because me and you we were going back and forth, like they couldn't take that lead.
Yeah.
Like when they punch, the Pacers like gave them a two piece. They jab and the Pacers just throwing blows. So
Right.
and it just makes you wonder like, well, where are they at? You know, mentally, physically. So yeah, it was a heartbreaker though for me anyway
Yeah,
because
no, I agree.
I was hoping they would take at least those two games before the All Star break.
Same.
Yeah, so
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I think the issue with, and I said this before, I want to say I said this last year with the Knicks. The Knicks lack discipline and they lack consistency. So when you lack discipline and consistency, you're going to have games like that where as a fan you watch and you go, "Well, damn, you should have beat that team. How you lost to that team?" And not to say that you're not going to have these losses. I know if I'm not mistaken, Indiana had beat OKC and you're going to have those games where you'll lose to those teams that are at the bottom of the barrel that they're just stinking up the joint. They're not doing well and I get that. And some nights you're going to be off. But I agree with you, and to piggyback off of what you said, sometimes I do wonder that with this Knicks roster is, are they there yet? Are they ready? And can this Knicks team get the job done? And you have these little bit of jitters because for me, there's no question the Knicks are going to make the playoffs. But it's when you face against the teams like Indiana, which to me, the Knicks need to play Indiana how Detroit is playing the Knicks.
yeah.
Get your revenge and beat them. Why are you allowing a team that beat you last year? You should be like, nah, the same energy Detroit gives the Knicks, that's the energy the Knicks need to give Indiana. And the Knicks, I don't know. I'm not going to say it was a horrible game, but it was a game, like you said, they should have won, and you can't have these like slip ups or games where you can't pull away. You know what I mean? Because honestly, even if OG Anunoby was playing that game, Siakam would have still had his way.
Oh
Because for
yeah, for
some reason,
sure.
OG can't even stop him. I don't get it. Why can't anybody stop this guy? Every time for the past few years when we play Indiana, we can't seem to figure out how to stop Pascal Siakam. He's a tree branch. He's a stick. And we allow a stick to have their way on the floor and do whatever the hell he wants. So I don't care. Brunson has 40 and this, and Cat does this in the overtime. It doesn't matter because you didn't get the win.
Yeah,
Like we always say, when the Knicks do win, a win is a win, and we'll take it. But the Knicks got to change their energy when you're playing against teams, especially a team that knocked you out in the playoffs.
yeah, and there was so many things like, oh, I guess to the Knicks' advantage. You know,
Right.
Indiana had the fewest wins. They had three, and they also they come to the Garden, they get a win. Um, like and the Knicks came in tied for the second most home win. So it's like they had so many things to their advantage, and they failed to capitalize off of it. And
Right.
again, this is why you question like where they're at, at this juncture of the season, because we're at the halfway mark.
Right.
And quite frankly, they had a better record last year than at 55 games than they did this year. They have more wins, so it's like, well, where's the breakdown? Well, we know where the breakdown is at, but it's like, why at this juncture? Will they reach the what are they at? They 35-20, and you
Mm-hmm.
got 27 games left. So will they reach that threshold? You know, or exceed what they won last year
Right.
season. So
Yeah, and that's my thing too. It's like you wonder why and this is happening where the Knicks are losing some of these games they should be winning, considering you have the core group of the team here.
yeah,
The major change was really the head coach. You got rid
mm,
of Tibbs. Okay, they brought in Mike Brown, but I don't know. And I was saying this in our last episode, and me and you were talking about this, and you said, but I don't think this is a coach's job or coaches, assistant coach's job. And I'm curious what the chat has to say about this as well. I was saying that I feel like someone needs to make the adjustments, and I don't think it should be. I guess you could put some part of the blame on it, um, on the players, or I don't want to say blame, but the accountability on the players, and some of it should go on the assistant coaches as well as Mike Brown. But when I watched the Knicks play under Mike Brown, they are playing with the same type of bad habits. That's the word I'm looking for. They're playing under some of the same bad habits that they did under Tibbs' tenure with the Knicks. Some nights, again, the Knicks defense looked great. Last night, the ball was moving, guys were cutting, but then it's like I really, really scratched my head because I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating. I was watching that game when Alvarado last night was getting those steals, and just even before that, and I was like literally standing here watching, and I said, why couldn't the Knicks do this the other night? You, it would have been a better free flowing game. You would have pulled away, even if it was late in the game. You would have pulled away score wise to give you a little bit of leeway, and you could have got the W. Because like you, I was expecting at least those 2 wins before the All Star break. But I think that some of the assistant coaches who are in charge of defensive schemes and setups, someone needs to call out, that's not what I'm looking for. Again, because it starts at the leadership. That's not what I'm looking for. You guys are crowding the paint, but yet we leave the perimeter wide open. Or we're double teaming at times when we don't need to double team. Like, make the corrections. These are the same things I was seeing under Tibbs. And I don't see the changes yet. And then I wonder, okay, because then you got some Knicks fans who may say, well, yeah, well, this is their first year under Mike Brown. We used to make these same excuses under Tibbs. Let's cut it out. Oh, give him another year, give him another 2 year. We used to do the enough, enough. When you're ready for a championship, as Dolan is, and he got it, and I told you this before we started, Dolan has his foot on Leon Rose's neck. I need a championship here now, ASAP. We're not going another 10, 40, 50 years without, you got to bring one here. We can't keep doing this. They used to be a stinky organization. The Knicks were terrible. I remember as a kid, one time I asked you, I said, are they really booing? You said, yeah, because they're playing like crap. I couldn't, I'd never seen that in my life. A home team getting booed by the home crowd. But I wonder who makes these adjustments where, because let's be honest, when you go into playoffs, that's not going to work. That defense, it's not going to work. That double teaming, that crowd in the paint, leaving the perimeter open, the random double teams, and then you go, why are you double teaming that player? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what's your full thoughts on that, and if that, because again, I don't think that necessarily falls on. It doesn't fall on Brunson as the captain, but who steps in and says, "Yo, we got to change the defensive setups, the way we're playing defense. We got to become stronger because we know what the Knicks could do offensively. And they're good offense, but it's the defense, and I'm seeing a lot of the bad habits that we had under Tibbs. They're still there.
Well, for me, defensively, I think that they're there because that these last games that they've won, they're up there defensively. It's the offense that's has me questioning them, and it starts at the top with the coach. You know, we think, oh, it's the players. He's calling the plays, the schemes, and the plays is running through this. There's a pecking order, and you know that. Brunson, Cat, OG, Bridges, and I'm quite sure it's hard. So it's a pecking order when as players. So to me, it starts with the coach, and and again, you can't put the onus all on him, but it starts with him. So offensively, I think he has to change some things up, and let's hope this All Star break will do him some good. They guys get a chance to rest and clear their heads and things like that. Yeah, even as a coach, I'm quite sure they're gonna be working and stuff, in the lab as they say. So for me, it starts with the coach. Yes.
But why do you? I don't mean to cut you off, but why do you say you feel it's the offense? I'm curious why you're saying that.
Well, because if it wasn't the offense, they would have won that game, and defensively. But for me, the defense is there because in their last what was that 12 games, the 10 out of that they won, they at the top tier defensively. I think they're like number one in that game. That game span that they played. So
Right. I know what you mean.
defense is there, so it's the offense, like the Pacers that they lost to, the Pistons that they lost to. So, like when the ball's not moving, and it's just like like Kaysen yesterday was the prime example of that ball, the cut that was moving.
Mm-hmm.
They was hold defensively. They held their opponents under 100 points. So that's why I say offensively, there's a lapse somewhere. That's why I say that.
I think it's both though, because I do agree with you. When you go back to that Detroit game, the Knicks have, and this is another bad habit that they have. And this used to drive me nuts when I watched it under Tibbs' tenure. The Knicks have a bad habit of, we're just going to settle for shooting threes and we're going to just shoot jump shots. And no one is really driving to the basket except really Brunson. I think yesterday's game proved you don't need Brunson to score a whole bunch of points. And some people may say, oh, well, he only needs to score that little bit of, or shoot however, what was it, 6 or 8 shots or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is we don't need you to have 35, 40, even 30 a night every night. Some nights, yeah, you got to go to work and put the team on your back and get us the win. But some nights, like the way the Knicks were playing, I was like, damn, if only, and this is, I've said this to you back even when we had Isaiah Hartenstein on the team. The Knicks move away from what works for them. When they move the ball and have better flow offensively and guys are cut into the basket, they're a lot more successful. But then you go to the next game, and this don't have to be on a back-to-back. You go, well, what happened?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
did you move away from what was working? And I get it. Different opponents is different defensive lineups coming at you. But here's the thing. When you're so locked in as a team, I don't care what defense is coming at you. You should be able to run whatever you want to run. It may be a little harder and have the answer to whatever defense is coming at you. But I do agree with you. I do think that yes, a part of it is the offense as well, right? You do need the Knicks have to figure out how to stop being so stagnant. And sometimes, and this is another bad habit that I used to see under Tibbs, and sometimes I see it on the floor. I don't see it as much, but sometimes when the Knicks are on offense, I go, it don't look like they're running a play. It just looks like Brunson at the top of the key, maybe a pass to the right. It may not go to the far corner where OG and Mikel uh, and Shamit likes to shoot that short three. It may not get there, and then it may come back at the top of the key. It'll go now to the left. It may get down to the bottom. Maybe OG may drive at that corner. Then he may kick it back out to the top of the key to Brunson. And sometimes you don't get that. It may just be Brunson looking for, and I don't, and I really sit back and watch this, and I'm like, well, nobody's doing anything. You got the four players right here. Brunson's at the top of the key, and they're just watching him, waiting for him to go to work. And they're standing ready, almost like baseball players, waiting for the ball to come to them. They're standing ready. Jordan Clarkson's the number one. A lot of this. Waiting. Did you notice in last night's game? Alvarado got the steal. Diawara got it. He could have passed it to Clarkson. He passed it to the corner to Alvarado. But Clarkson was standing like this. He was waiting for the ball. I'm like, my guy, he's not gonna. And I said, and kudos to Diawara for recognizing who was hot and passed him the ball, right? Passed Alvarado the ball. But sometimes when you watch the Knicks on offense, just I don't even know what you. I think I saw somebody put in the chat. It's they freestyling. It's just like you. There's really no play. It's just kind of like. Because I'm like, there's no way you went in a timeout and Mike Brown didn't call nothing. It's no way. And then sometimes the Knicks will come right out of a timeout and a quick, easy bucket. And I'm like, wow, that was, it happened so fast. I'm like, wow. But then other times when they're on offense, there's no type of movement. Four guys are standing where they're standing. Brunson's at the top of the key. And then it's almost like Brunson's like, well, you know what? Let me just go make something happen because nobody else is, or they're just standing there. I don't know. I don't know mentally where they are, but that's what it comes across. But I don't know if you noticed that, but I see that a lot with Knicks games when they're not playing like they did last night. It's a lot of like we're standing around, nothing's really happening. Sometimes you'll get it to Cat, and Cat's another one. He flares all across the floor. He's looking for the foul. And to his credit, a lot of times he's not getting the foul calls.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Right. And I don't know what that's about in the league. But I don't do you ever notice that with the Knicks sometimes where they're just standing around and there's no ball movement or no one's cutting, there's no play happening?
Well, yeah, some of that, and it's not all on Brunson, but we know that because he's so ball dominant and that he's the point. He tends to dribble the ball sometimes, and he also, when he's 5 seconds or something, he wants someone to bail him. I don't want to say someone. I don't want to use that. He tends, and then he wants to get rid of the ball, and then by then that's a waste of possession. 9 times out of 10, they don't score or shot clock violation. So it's not all on him, but the ball can become, stagnant where they just, you always, you know that, like, that's one of your pet peeves, about, that ball is just stagnant. Literally. It's just, and so, yeah, I think that's one of the reasons. Another reason, like you said, they tend to revert back to their old habits and what was working. It's like they move away from that. So again, is that a coaching thing? Where he needs to, like, Yeah, he do. He called timeout, but sometimes it's like the lead has gotten so far away. It's like now they got to play catch up. And they was famous for that last season. I don't see it as much this
Yeah,
season.
same.
So that's another plus to the Knicks credit. But yeah, I think it's just a lot of just over dribbling and just not setting up your offense and things like that. So
Yeah, and I agree with you. As much as I want to put it all on Brunson,
yeah,
he's not the only one on the floor.
exactly.
So if other guys are moving, he'll be more prone to facilitate. And not to say that they need to move for him to facilitate the ball, because that also falls back on Brunson being a facilitator. But Brunson sets the tone. So guys are going off of his energy, right? And then I think at the same time, too, if I'm playing with Brunson, I need to be aware he's off, Mikal Bridges. So I need you to step up. Because a lot of times I'm looking for Mikal to play in tandem with Cat and OG when he's playing to help give us the points on the board that we need. But lately, Mikel's played well, but I'm going to tell you why I think Mikel's been playing well. Mikel plays better off the ball. So if he's cutting and driving, sometimes he's coming off a screen and, he doesn't, I don't, Mikel doesn't do well if you give him the ball at the top of the key and then he got to make his way to the basket. Yeah, sometimes he can give you the little fadeaway, the midi jumper, and he can make it, but that's not his game. It used to be his game, but at least under the Knicks, it's not his game. Mikel is better if Cat, OG, Brunson, Shamit is driving, and then they kick it out. Sometimes he don't make it. It's frustrating because you're wide open. But don't get me wrong, he gives us timely baskets. Right? He can miss 8 threes, and then all of a sudden at the end of the game, Mikel gives us a timely basket. I'm not going to take that away from him. But Mikel does something very well that I want to see, and it looks like it's creating this momentum and it's becoming infectious to other guys on the team. And maybe Jordan Clarkson should take heed as well. But when he's cutting to the basket, it's almost like players are not expecting that on a defense, and somehow he's able to get free and he gets the easy layup. Even does a great job on a lot of times on the reverse. He has great control,
Yeah.
right? But um defensively, Mikel is pretty good, but he has moments where whoever he's guarding will just get right by him, and now he's playing alongside that player, which now forces if you got Mitch or Cat, now they got to be like, damn, now I got to guard his man. I got to watch my guy. I got to play double defense, but I would like to see Mikel continue to do that. And I said this to you before. I think, and I could be wrong, I think Mikel is preserving his energy because he's looking for perfect attendance. But his 20-year stint at his union job in the NBA, I think Mikel is preserving his energy like he did last year in the playoffs. When he
Oh,
came out, we were like, whoa. And when he took that ball from Jaylen Brown, was like, get the F out of here, man. And he put his hand up like that. Maybe that's what Mikel is doing. He like slow and steady wins the race. I'm
yeah.
preserving myself because that's when you really gonna need me. So I'm gonna fall back off of Mikal Bridges. As annoying as he's been, I'm gonna leave that conversation between you and I via text messages, but nonetheless, I like what he's been doing with the cutting to the basket. It's working. I want to see him continue to do it. And it looks good. And yeah, that whole game, the Knicks, I think we can both be in agreement. The Knicks should have won that game. That was a heartbreaker because, like I said, I was looking for the Knicks to win these last two before they went to the break. But nonetheless, the Knicks came back, um, put the beat down on Philadelphia yesterday, beat them by 49 points, 89 to 138. That has the Knicks now sitting at 35 and 20. Um, the Knicks played a really good game. They led all 4 quarters. I mean, like, I'm like, wait, y'all led all 4 quarters? Because me and you was just talking about that. We were like, wait, the Knicks somehow can't always beat a team all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Right when you look at the scoring. So shout out to the Knicks for a nice little round of applause for that. For beating Philadelphia in scoring all 4 quarters. Scoring wise, who did what? Mikal Bridges, solid game, 29 minutes, 22 points. He was 3 for 3 from the free throw line. He had 5 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, only 2 turnovers. He was 9 for 15 field goal percentage wise. From the field goal, Cat played 26 minutes, had another double double with 21 points. He had 11 boards, 5 assists. I thought Cat played a pretty good game. He didn't get himself in foul trouble early like he normally does. I didn't see too many silly fouls as well. I don't know what was wrong with the ref's whistle because there was a few fouls that weren't called, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, what does this guy got to do to get a foul? It's bananas to me. Landry Shamet played 24 minutes. Quiet game from him. Only had 9 points. He was 4 for 6, 1 for 3 from the 3 point line. He did have 5 assists. Jalen Brunson. This is like if you didn't watch the game, you would think that the stat sheet is incorrect. He played 30 minutes. He had 8 points. He was 3 for 6. He was 2 for 3 from the 3 point line. Had 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and only 2 turnovers. Muhammad Diawara played 20 minutes. He had 14 points. He was 5 for 10, 4 for 8. He had 5 rebounds and 2 assists as well. Who else? Jose Alvarado,
Yeah.
19 minutes played. He had 26 points. He was 8 for 13, 8 for 13 from the 3 point line as well. He was 2 for 3 from the free throw line. He had 3 boards, 4 assists, 5 steals. I'm sorry, what? 5 steals. And Mitchell Robinson, who also had a solid game for us as well. They had no answer for Mitch. Of course, Embiid didn't play. I think he's rehabbing and resting, healing up his knees. Mitchell Robinson played 15 minutes, had 11 points. He was 3 for 3. Um, he was 5 for 8 from the free throw line. And Mitch put his hand up and told me to be quiet and put his hand to his ear. And I was like, well, that's what I'm talking about. I need you to knock down some free throws because that hack of Mitch may be a thing in the playoffs. But shout out to Mitchell Robinson, has 6 rebounds and 4 blocks, 4 nice monster blocks. What were your takeaways from that game?
Man, it was a lot. It was quite a lot. Again, that's what when I say defensively, that's why they're up there. It was just a great defensive effort from like everybody. Everybody
Yeah,
had a hand in that. They dominated. The Sixers from out the gate. Um, stayed poised, was able to maintain the lead, and at one point there, I think they led. I think it was like their largest margin. I think it was like 52 points.
yeah, it was over 50.
Yeah, yeah. So like, and these are the games that. But the Pacers game, you're like, they're not there. But then when you watch the Philly game, even though Embiid wasn't there, but it's like, okay, like they're in sync, they're clicking like on all 4 cylinders. It's like okay, now I see it. You know, man, they just great ball movement and sharing the ball. Like they had like 41 assists or something like that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and they had like 24 at their half. So like these are the games that you see like what the Knicks are capable of. Like you know that they can do it. They just tend to play down when they play a team like the Pacers and the Wizards and the Pelicans. Where they give them the most the trouble. Um, yeah, I mean everybody could contribute. And like they say, we won. It was 138, and Jalen Brunson only had what 8 points.
Points.
Yeah, so it's like okay, like you alluded to before, they can win without him taking a ton of shots and without him scoring 40. And this is like I mean we know they can win, but this is like this seals it for the most part. So it was just like a great effort, man. Like Cat, he had a double double. Yeah, just everybody all across.
Yeah, I think a few things of takeaways from that game for me. Jose Alvarado gave you what we've seen him do, playing in New Orleans and the highlight reels we've seen him do. And it's so funny to me because I'm like, you would think players would be hip to what he does, and he's still able to get away with hiding from out of bounds and it's just coming and snatching the ball, tapping the ball from the player's hands. And, even at one point, Maxi was just like, but I'm like, dude, this guy is not a rookie. You know what he does. Happy that he's a Knick now. But one thing that I love about him, and that's why I titled the thumbnail, um, how we have a dog, because we lost that when we lost Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah, for sure.
Jose Alvarado reminds me a lot of Dante DiVincenzo. He's gritty. He's tough. When Mitch got fouled, he was ready to get down and fight. He said, I don't care if I just got here. I'm not the tallest guy here. And it's funny because I don't know if you peeped this, but when Brunson was right there. So Brunson was trying to hold back. I don't remember who it was from Philly. I said, Brunson got to get his weight up. He was getting bitch slapped around and pushed around like a damn rag doll. I said, Brunson, just get out. Cause you not even holding your weight. Alvarado had more strength than him. I said, Brunson, get away from there. They pushing you around, but you go and hurt your ankle or something and go move back. The way he was getting pushed around. I don't know if you gotta watch that. Brunson was getting bitch slapped and pushed around. I was like, Brunson, just move. Just let Alvarado handle whatever he's doing. But I like that he does that because that's what DiVincenzo was about. You push one of his players or you set DiVincenzo was right there ready to scrap up like what? You know what I mean? He was, and that's what you want to see. Like we a squad, we a family. Like we here for an end goal at the end of the day.
Yep.
But just his hustle, he doesn't give up on plays. He utilizes his speed to his advantage as well, and he'll run down the floor and get us, and get a steal for us when we need it. And he could have just said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just shoot the three, knock down the threes. And shout out to other Knicks players for finding him, right? Noticing and being aware that he has the hot hand. But just his hustle and his energy, that becomes infectious when you're on a team and you playing with a guy like that. Because you're like, damn, he ain't even giving up on the play. As much as the Knicks were up, he was playing like they were down.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
that's a credit to him because that screams volumes. That's the energy that we're going to need moving into the second half of this season, as well as the playoffs. You need a guy with that kind of energy who can get you back in the game if you're down. And kudos to what you said earlier, how the Knicks haven't really put themselves in those predicaments this season of getting down by 20 and 25 and having to crawl back. Also, yesterday's game, the Knicks kept their foot on Philly's necks.
yeah.
I
Yep.
don't care if you're up by 30, 40. I don't care. You still keep your foot on the gas. And you blow a team out because guess what? Any other team in the league will blow the Knicks out and won't think twice about it. If they could blow the Knicks out by 75, they would. 60 points, they would.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So it's okay to do that to other teams. And it's also okay not to put us under stress and anxiety. People got to resort to drinking and pills and stress balls when they're watching a game because you want to make the game, you're only up by 2, 3 points with a minute and 30 left to go. Just stop. We don't always have to play every game like that under a stress factor. Does it make for an exciting game? Yes. But yesterday's game, you could have went and got you a snack. They were still up. Not that's not always the case with the Knicks. You go get you a snack and you come back, a glass of water, you come back and you're like, what happened? I wasn't even going for 5 minutes. So I thought that the Knicks played well considering and showed that you didn't need Brunson to go off. And quite honestly, the pace was better. And I felt like Brunson kind of realized that and kind of fell back a little bit and was like, all right, they got it. You know what I mean? Like, and he, I was listening to Steph and Jeff, shout out to them earlier. And I think Jeff made a comment and said something like, oh, I think Brunson um, probably thought that maybe he should have shot the, or I don't remember what exactly he said. And I'm mind you, I'm out listening to the podcast. I'm in the store. And I said, no, that's not what he's thinking. He's thinking he should have shot those shots. And Steph said it. And I was like, thank you, sis. Because I said, Brunson's not thinking like that. Brunson's probably thinking when he's watching a film, he's probably like, I should have taken more shots or I should have took that shot. But I think he also realized in real game, live game scenario situation, he was probably like, all right, they got it. You don't really need me to go full force. But from what I really noticed from that game is the flow was better. It was faster with Brunson not dribbling the air out of the basketball. Because it does. When Brunson is heavy ISO, that's where the stagnation comes from.
Yeah.
Because the ball is not moving. Guys are not cutting because they're watching and they're prepared to be like, okay, let me get the rebound or let me be prepared to run back on defense. So I think that's something that again the Knicks have to work on in the second half. But because I said this too in our last show, I don't like okay, the team scores, the Knicks take the ball out, Brunson brings the ball up and just chucks up a three. So yeah, we know 90% of the time, maybe higher than that, Brunson can make that three, but not all the time do you need that. And it's this the decision making and the decisions that he's making. And to me, it's like, Brunson, did why?
But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, which not that now, but he could have been like not going so hard because he know he's going into the All Star, and
That's
he
a good
wanted to
point.
go in healthy. He didn't want to hurt himself. So that's what I'm thinking. Why he didn't, you know, yeah, he played 30 minutes, but if you notice, he wasn't doing all these, the acrobatic
Right.
shots.
He fell back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I that's where I'm thinking like that's his mindset because the All Star game is getting ready to come up and he's a starter. So I think he just kind of just fell back because of that reason.
Right. Yeah. That's a great point. I didn't even think of that. That maybe that was part of the reason why he probably was like, all right, yeah. But yeah, I mean, and speaking of a player like Siakam, the Knicks can't hold. Maxi had his way, 32 minutes, 32 points. And I know the commentators was saying Nick Nurse wants Maxi to shoot the three more because he's more than capable. But man, and at one point in the beginning, the first half, Brunson and Maxi were going back and forth. I make a basket, you make a
Yeah.
basket. But, and when I seen that, I'm like, Brunson, you don't got to do that. The way the Knicks commanded the lead in the beginning of the game, at one point we was up by like 18, 20. And a 20-point lead in the NBA nowadays doesn't mean much because a team
Nope.
can go on a run. And the Knicks have proven that you can be up by 25 and we're going to crawl back into that lead. But I think that the way the Knicks were playing and the fluidity on offense was really great to see. It was nice to see guys moving without the ball. Diawara, who to me is going to continue to keep getting minutes. His height, he's going to get better defensively. And I think what Tibbs did to McBride and gave him the chance in the minutes, Brown is going to do to Diawara and going to allow him to keep continuing to grow and get the minutes and play. Now, we didn't even talk about, because this was the next thing I wanted to bring up, how the Knicks have acquired Jeremy Sochan from the Spurs. What are your thoughts on that acquisition?
Man,
I'm only bringing that up because I just thought about me bringing up how Diawara, I
yeah.
feel Mike Brown is going to give him. So I'm like, okay, now Kolek still got some minutes, but Kolek is taking a little bit of a backseat. Now you bring in Sochan in. What are your thoughts on that? Minutes, why, like all over? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, to me, that was a good acquisition for them signing him.
Agreed.
And again, that was made possible because of Yabo. He forfeited, his his signing for next year. So I think like, and they had a space on the roster for a 15th player. Um,
Right.
you know, for whatever reason, he wasn't a fit with the Spurs. He fell out of the rotation,
Mm-hmm.
similar to like how Clarkson, but he's another wing. He's 6'8", you know, young, 25. He can average, about 11. Um, and he defense. He's there. He's going to be there for as a defensive, wing. So I like it. But now you saying how with him and Diawara, um,
Right.
will they buy for minutes? It may be, but again, and it's also going to be situational as well too with them. But I think Brown will continue to play because he see the upside to Diawara and how he's only going to get better. But um, I I like it. We got another point guard in Alvarado. Yeah, we need a big, but I'll take so whatever is Jeremy, I'll take him. So I think
Yeah.
that was a good pickup for him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I also think that adds depth to the bench
Yeah.
because we've had at least a handful of games so far in this first half of the season where the Knicks bench was just awful and got outscored and out everything. And what I don't want to see for the second half of the season, maybe a little bit of the first part of the second half of the season, but middle ending and into the postseason, I don't want to see the Knicks be very reliant on just the starters to do everything. You have to have solid guys who can come off the bench and give you production. If your shot ain't going down, there's other intangibles that you can do on the floor to contribute and be an asset when you get out there. So I think Sochan was a great pickup for the Knicks. He also plays good defense, like you said. He has a really wide wingspan. I've seen him play defensively when I would watch a few Spurs games, and he can play really great defense, and that's what you need. And I'm looking at, if you have, first of all, and I said this before, I want to give credit to the Knicks and Leon Rose for figuring out a replacement for McBride. They didn't waste any time because Dolan's on their neck. Don't play. Get somebody in here right away. We got to keep the train moving, right? And because we're not in a rebuilding phase, we're in a championship phase. That's where we're at. So shout out to them for figuring that out. Also, we were just talking about this as well, how we were saying before Leon Rose, the Knicks didn't do a good job recruiting. We didn't bring the best of the players here. The only one I would say that they kind of missed the ball on was Yabusele. But now Yabusele goes over to Chicago and want to ball out. Please. Should have did that when you was here. I guess the bright lights of New York City was too much for him.
You know what? Like I just did with uh do you think and this is food for thought. OG's toe injury. How serious do you think that is?
You know what's crazy? That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, why are we not really getting much information on how serious this injury is? Because I'm wondering, well, you know what though? Maybe it's not that serious, is what I'm thinking. And they're just saying they want him to rest out all-star break and then I guess be ready to come back for the second half. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, with the signing of Jeremy, he's a 6'8" wing.
This is true.
So I'm just thinking, but because you know how sometimes, well, they was more transparent with Deuce,
Right.
injury, but OG's like, oh, his toe, and then when you check out the game for the day, he's a game time decision. I mean,
Right.
it could be much ado about nothing. Maybe he'll come back after the All Star. So I guess this rest is probably is warranted in what he needs, and we'll see come Thursday. How's that?
Yeah, the chat said he had a toenail problem.
Uh,
Now OG know he got to get them dogs done. You can't be letting them claws get all crazy, OG. Now he OG, come on. You know better than that. But I'm thinking it's not a serious issue. Maybe it was a mild infection or something like that. And maybe medical's like, you know what? Have him sit out. He'll be ready for after All-Star break. At least that's what I'm hoping, and that it's not nothing super serious that he's gonna miss more time. Because at the end of the day, this Knicks roster does need OG Anunoby.
oh, for sure.
You need him on the floor. He's a difference maker. He scores easy baskets, easy dunks. He gets to the basket. He reads the game well. He's a constant student of the game. Um, and as much as you like Mo as OG 2.0, he's not there yet. He's
Oh, for
not there yet. But again, Diawara's shot looks amazing.
yeah.
I like what I'm seeing. This guy, the way his confidence shooting that three, maybe that's why when he started getting the minutes from the top of the season, he said, I'm gonna keep shooting. And maybe coaches, players are like, keep shooting. You know what I mean? They see what he could do in practice. And when I watch him, like I said, he really is a student of the game. He's watching everything. He's learning. He's getting better. And like you said, Brown sees the upside. The coaching staff sees the upside, and they're like, you know what? Give this guy the minutes because that's what we want. You got to give these guys the minutes. They can't sit on a bench and rot.
Yeah.
And last night, I even liked the way Brown and shout out, and I didn't even mention this, but I want to say I don't know what game it was. I don't think it was the Indiana game. I think it was the game before that where Brown put in the third string C squad and they looked horrible. Like they had just signed a contract that day.
That was the Pistons game, wasn't it? That
It
they
was. And they were just like with throwing up anything. The ball was going over the hoop. And I was like,
running right into that.
yeah. I was like, what's going on? But I do like Dylan Jones. I think that he's another player who I know he's not going to get many minutes, but I see some upside there with him. I'm not expecting him to get a be to the level of like even Kolek, but there's something there with him that I can see that, and I'm not just talking about last night's game. I've seen him play in a few other games and I'm like, I like the way he plays. Um, so I don't know. I wouldn't McCullough, I don't know. He seems to have taken a bit of a back seat. And I don't know if that's because he's been on that bench too long. So when you're not playing in those real game situations, it's hard to get in a rhythm and get in a
Yeah.
flow,
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's about, but I like Diawara. And I think it's going to be very interesting now that they got Jeremy. You still got Kolek. Now we have ball handling, folks. You don't have to have Brunson doing it all.
Otto. Yep.
And quite honestly, and I said this to you before, I don't want to see Brunson always bringing up the ball because Brunson is going to get double teamed or he's going to get defense, full court defense on him. You don't always have to bring up the ball. There are other people. I want to see capable players bringing up the ball, not just anybody bringing up the ball. But I've seen Diawara bringing up the balls I don't really see Josh Hart doing it as much, which to
Mhm.
me, he doesn't need to bring it up. Go up the floor. You have Alvarado, you have Kolick, capable guys of bringing up the ball. You know, if McBride was here, McBride. But I don't. What I'm getting at is that Brunson doesn't always need to bring the ball up.
Yeah.
Switch it up so that way teams don't see the expected. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Sometimes you got to have some repertoire in your belt as a coach. Like let me throw this at them because they're not going to be expecting this. And so far, it's working with a few players like Josh Hart. Teams are still backing off of Josh.
Mhm.
Shooting is up.
Yeah.
He's knocking the shots down. He's killing me sometimes when he drives, and I don't know if he wants to do a floater. He wants to bank it. I'm just like, you got to make those. You got to make those. You're right there. Mitch is not going to always be your bailout and could tip it back in for you. You got to make those, but now you got Alvarado, who can also be an answer and can get, you got Shamit. But again, Brunson sets the tone. So this is why I think Brunson still has to find balance, right? Between being a facilitator and then knowing times where he got to be like, all right, I got to step in and go to work and do what I got to do to keep us in this game or keep the lead or whatever may have you. But I think he's still learning that. And that's what's going to make, because, I felt some type of way when I didn't see Brunson not even like on the MVP list. And I was like, wow, what's that about? And I know part of what it's about is because the Knicks are still taken as a laughing stock. They're not taken serious yet because the Knicks haven't won in so many years. And I get that.
Yeah.
They're not a laughing stock to me, but to the outside of Knicks fandom and the Knicks content world and Knicks, fans. So they overlook guys like him.
Well, I mean, the way I see it, and yeah, he should be in the conversation, but and we all know that they looking at what as a player, what are they doing for their team and where their team stands. I mean, you take K for instance. Detroit is number one. In the East. You know, Brown is doing a lot in Tatum's absence, so he's able to keep his team afloat and within that second seed. So now it shifts back over to the West, and we know well, Shea is up there, um, Nicola. I don't even know if it was Luca in the mention.
I've seen his name, but
But so even like the Spurs, so they whoever's they, because I think Brunson is being overlooked and robbed and just not even mentioned. And I think that's a great disservice for him. But I think they looking at just overall what that those individual plays are doing collectively
mhm,
and where they stand at so that's how I see, but I think it's just a great disservice. Now if
yeah,
they were to make a push, yeah, then I think the things are flipped. Like if they can get within second and maintain that, I think his name is get mentioned again, because it was mentioned at one point,
mhm,
but you don't hear it as often.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like, and I'm not saying that rightfully so. These guys' names shouldn't be mentioned, but it gets a little boring when you keep mentioning the same players. SGA, Jokic. Now they're bringing in Luca. You know, when it was Braun, KD. There's new sheriffs in town. There's new dogs in town. Cade, as much as I'm not a Pistons fan, he should be his name should be not just circulating, but it should be on the list. Brunson's name should be on the list. So I don't understand that. And what's the qualifications for making your name? go from circulation and word of mouth to actually being on the list, right? But that's neither here or there. You know, we're not worried about that. But nonetheless, I think the Knicks did a good job this year with their trades and who they brought over, and not just bringing over any old body who's going to be a dud and not bring anything to this team, because we've been there. We've seen that. We don't need that, you know? And let me ask you, do you think that this roster's still missing pieces or a piece? I know you mentioned a big, but is there something still missing to you? And I'm curious with the chat what they think about this too. Do you think that there's still somebody or a specific position player the Knicks should try to bring over? Or do you feel like, well, I'm gonna let them ride it out, and then we'll see after the postseason, what happens and how that goes.
Well, definitely they missing something, but again, like you said, I'm just gonna just let it ride out and see what they're gonna do. After the All Star break, because again, those who wasn't selected, it was only two. So again, it gives these guys just a lot of them say they at Cancun already, but yeah, they're wind down, so they should come back refreshed, renewed, and rejuvenated, like you name it, and be and ready to go. So I'm just gonna just let it just ride out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes, while I think it's a smart strategy to have Mitchell Robinson play every other game, I think sometimes that hurts us and that makes Mitch a liability. We were talking about him being somewhat of a liability from the free throw line. But if you could give me 1 for 2, I'm happy with that. But, and we talked about this before, I don't know if it was last season or the season before last. Clearly, the Knicks are doing that so Mitchell Robinson stays healthy, because, you know, sometimes with his body, he, you know, injuries are fragile, and then you need him because he's a pivotal part. So I think that was a smart move to say, okay, we won't have him play every game. But I don't know. To me, part of me wants to say, well, yeah, you do need Mitch every game. But some games the Knicks have proven they don't. But then I've seen some games where I'm like, damn, you do need Mitchell Robinson out there, because Cat can't give you what Mitch does. I think Cat has. I was gonna call him Pat. I think Cat has been playing. I think he's been playing. I think he's been playing better, as you alluded to, because the trade talks are done. He's been doing an excellent job getting us boards, but he's not that same threat presence as Mitchell Robinson is in the paint. And not only that, when you watch Mitchell Robinson play defense, Mitchell Robinson looks like a guard. He's in a full squat position. He's ready, hands ready. And I'm like, wow. And I love to see bigs who play defense like that, because you don't see that anymore,
Yeah.
and you don't see Cat play that kind of defense, because Cat sometimes he won't even challenge. He just, okay, I'm a box out and I'm gonna get ready. But I'm like, dude, you got to play a little defense before you get to the box out. You can't skip a step and then. So I don't know. Sometimes I like the whole every other game, but then sometimes I don't, and I wish we had Mitch every game. So I'm in a toss up, because I don't know, but I know Mitchell Robinson is a huge asset, and you need him healthy for the playoffs. You need everybody healthy for the playoffs, right? And I wish and pray for this team to have continued health throughout the second half and going into the playoffs. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're missing something. I felt like that one of the main things was having a backup point guard. Okay, now you got Alvarado, who's has a lot more veteran experience than Kolek. So I feel good about that. The Knicks still lack height. I know one of your biggest pet peeves with this roster. But I don't know. I don't know. And I still question back to what you said earlier at the start of the show, if this roster can get it done. It's not to say we don't believe in them, but again, I go back to the Knicks lack discipline and consistency. And I get you're not going to win every game. You're not going to win every night. Some nights are just as a team, you're going to be off. You're not going to shut. It's not going to be your night. But I want to see a little bit more consistency, and not just in wins, but in your defense, in your offense, not being stagnant. Brunson not dribbling the air out of the ball and setting the tone and finding a good balance between facilitating the ball, getting those assist numbers up, finding guys, but then also having a balance of, okay, I can score as well. I'm not saying I want him to take a back seat to scoring the ball, So I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious how this Knicks team does. Quite honestly, and I'm going to be very honest, the All-Star break hasn't been that entertaining. I don't really watch, and I don't know who in the chat who watches like the celebrity game. I don't watch that. So I am going to be watching the Unrivaled. Chat. If y'all want to see something entertaining, watch that Unrivaled, because Unrivaled's going to be doing a one-on-one. And that's very entertaining. And quite honestly, the All-Star, they should implement that. Wouldn't that be that would make, I'm telling you, people would be like, yo, to have guys go one-on-one versus each other, that's what they should implement in the All-Star game. And make it like a bracket, just like Unrivaled. Knock them out. Okay, we see who's the top player in this league right now. And what is it, to 11 points in Unrivaled? Who the first to get 11? So, I'm just being honest. We're not keeping it peachy keen and all rosy here. I don't really watch the dunk contest. They be doing the same dunks. Nobody has nothing creative. Mac is not in it. I'm gonna watch Unrivaled, the one-on-one tournament. That's a lot more. I'm mad I missed the first round, but I will catch the second round. And if you guys watch the All-Star game, I want to know. I'll catch the highlights, Bleacher Report. I'll see it. I'll see it on social media. Are you gonna watch it, or are you gonna watch?
I'm gonna do the 1v1 when I get home because I'm going out that night.
Yeah, Unrivaled. Yeah, because am I wrong though? It hasn't been entertaining.
Yeah.
I want to support Jalen Brunson. We supported them enough with the votes. Maybe click back and forth in a commercial. Go check them out. I'll do that. Or put it on my phone and then watch it on the TV. Flip back and forth. But it just hasn't been entertaining. Like last year, I was so bored. I was looking mainly at my phone. I was like, just turn it off. You ain't even watching it. You're not even watching it. So, usually Diva locks will text me and say the game's on. Don't text me because I'm not watching it. I'll be watching Unrivaled coming on TNT. And what's the other channel? I can't remember the other channel they come on. TNT. True TV and TNT. So if y'all want to watch something entertaining, Unrivaled, right now they're not doing a 3 versus 3 because it's a break. It's kind of like their version of All-Star. And not all players, but the majority of the players, they set them up in a bracket style and they play 1 versus 1. Highly entertaining. Because you know why? Because I feel like that's who you could see who could really go against a defense in 1 versus 1. Because not every player could do that. Some players are more catch and shoot. They need a pick, and you get a lot of players who can go 1 versus 1. Like Veronica Burton beating Birkenbag. Courtney Williams wasn't in that Birkenbag the other day. So I don't know if y'all gonna watch it, cool. But Unrivaled is very entertaining, and Angel Reese is back. But if y'all get a little bored, put on TNT and watch that 1 versus 1 because it's gonna be good. Because I think it does come on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. I think it comes on Saturday, either Friday or Saturday. They normally come on Fridays and Saturdays but it'll definitely be on throughout the All-Star weekend. But yeah, so when the Knicks get back after All-Star break, they'll be playing, I believe it's
Pistons.
Detroit,
Yep. At home.
which is a game they should win.
Yeah.
You should get your revenge because Detroit sees the Knicks as the hunted. So you should be able to win that game. Start off the comeback from break on a strong note. Then they're at home again on Saturday against Houston. That's going to be a good game.
No,
Then
they.
they play,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They at
yeah,
home.
they play at
Yeah,
home.
you're right.
Then they play on Sunday against Chicago. They're away. And then they'll be playing Cleveland Tuesday, which is going to be a good matchup being that they have Harden now. So listen, you know, the Knicks got some good matchups coming up. They're going to be seeing the Bucks, the Spurs again, Toronto, OKC. That's March 4th. That should be a good one. Then they have Denver again, LA. I'm looking to see some wins. I'm looking for the Knicks to really capitalize against these teams that are going to be of a challenge, but teams that also you should be beating, right? So, yeah, we'll see. But let's get to the chat. Let's see what's going on with the chat. The chat has been literally on fire, and I know it has because I'm scrolling up and I have to keep scrolling because it's the chat's been on fire. Shout out to Nostalgic Nick 7. Salute to you. Wonder Woman said, good evening, ladies. Hope all is well. All is well. Happy New Year to you. Anna Grill 1, good evening. Salute to you. Rondu 1973 says, salute, lady and a chef and diva lock. Salute to you. I never seen Trapped in the 90s here before, but salute to you for coming and joining us. Salute to Multi Power Down. Salute, salute, salute. Always joining us, showing love. Salute to you. Hannah Girl once said, we played soft defense versus Indy, and Brunson hijacked the offense down the stretch. Yeah. That dribbling that ball, the air out the ball. The Man Cave podcast. Salute to you. Says, salute to the almighty panel. Salute to the chat. Salute to you.
Salute.
Thanks for joining us. Matter of opinion. Salute to you. Said, regular season is full of ups and downs. It is. It is. And that's what I think makes or breaks you as a team. You take those losses as lessons, you put them behind you, and you move forward because the playoffs is a different animal, right? APAP 1586 salute said, salute to Knicks chicks. Rondu said the Knicks have to stop playing down to the level of competition. They're going to have to go 100% on everybody, 100% agreed, and keep their foots on teams' necks.
Yep.
You know, like that's you can't. Yeah, and that's what you were saying earlier. Oh, I never seen this name here either. Jose G Insight salute to you says salute to Knicks chicks. Let's go Knicks. Always let's go Knicks. And agree with this comment. Multi Power Down said hit the like button. Let's grow the stream. For real, hit the like button. It helps YouTube put us out in the algorithm and people get to find us. And salute to the replay gang as well. Because a lot of you don't catch us when we initially go live. But the replay gang helps us with our views because you guys go in and get the view count up. And those of you also going in and hitting the like button. So Nostalgic Nick 7 said, love the jersey, Diva Locks. Diva Locks has a lot of Knicks gear, more than I do. So
yeah, for sure.
she has Knicks everything. Knicks Crocs, Knicks hats. She could sell some stuff because that's how much she has. Jose G Insight said Knicks have no choice in playoffs to play hard and tough in order to advance to the NBA Finals. Yeah, especially if being a healthy team, you have to. You have to. And I don't care. The East is very close right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting how the standings shake up, in the second half of this season. Kareem Grant, salute Kareem. He said, "My sister, salute. Damn, I miss y'all. Peace to the chat." Kareem, I hope all is well. Always showing love from day one to us. Salute to you, Kareem.
Hello.
Yeah, see, this is the comment I saw. Ain't no plays, it's all freestyle. Talking about the offense. Yo, this is interesting. Multi-power downside. If Mitch played against Indy, we would have won. And the playoffs, no back-to-backs. Knicks not even worried. Yeah. And that's a good point. You think in the playoffs they're gonna play Mitch back-to-back games, or they're gonna have him every other game?
Well, in the playoff, are they do they do back? They don't do back to back. So I
Well,
mean,
no, they don't play back-to-backs, but what I'm saying is if they play, for example, first round in the series and they play on a Monday, they may play again on Wednesday. You think they're gonna play him or they're gonna rest him until that third game? So he'll play the first game and the third game. Because I'm wondering that now. You
yeah,
know, do they rest him and say, nah, we not gonna play him back to back? But to me, I'm like, well, you need him, and then as fans, do we go, damn, we should have played him that second game.
exactly.
We
That's
could have got that win if we would have played Mitch.
hmm.
I don't know, chat. What do y'all think? Do you think Brown is gonna sit Mitch in the playoffs and Mitch will play, you know, in a series, play game one, then he'll play the third game, then maybe play I don't know. Yeah, Divalox was talking about this before we started about no Jalen Duran and no Stu Beef. Because I think they're still gonna be with that suspension, right? Yeah,
Uh, four.
yeah. Let's see. Hold on, I'm getting through the chat, y'all. J Davis 9494 salutes you. Said, "Hello, ladies. How are y'all? I'm doing well. Hope all is well with you." NBA economy salute to you. Nice to see you here. Everybody that's new here, really nice to see you here. Really appreciate you guys watching and checking us out. APAP salute said, "I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting us to win that game." Which one are you talking about? The Philly game or
The Pistons.
the
Pace.
Pacers game? Maybe the Pacers game. Yeah, Rondo said, "I like that we added Sochan to the team." Same. I think that was a great pickup. You got
Yeah.
to strengthen that bench, strengthen the wings, especially sometimes when you have Streaky McKell. I don't know if the chat has seen on social media. There's a song with McKell's name in it, and every time Knicks fans go to the game, they play that song in the background when they post it. I've only seen it on TikTok, but man, the song is fitting for McKell. I'm gonna see if I could put it for the next live and see if I could put it up. I'm glad GTA is here. Yeah, Grand Theft Alvarado. What a difference that he makes. Regular season is for learning. Playoffs is about applying what you learn. My opinion. I agree. Applying what you learn for sure. Parrish Duggar, salute to you. Said the greatness of Brunson is they kept doubling him and he just passed out of the double teams for easy baskets. Yeah. Brunson has great poise. He doesn't allow any defense or player to rush him. He doesn't, you know, so quick to get rid of the ball and panics under pressure. He does a really good job with the way he just remains poised and calm and doesn't panic. I do appreciate that about him as a player. Doug Fresh Z6M salutes you. Said, "This is our year. The Brooklyn Steelers here." Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, the playoffs is going to be so entertaining. And the thing is, if those people who are NBA fans, but they're not Knicks fans, I don't think they realize it. And I'm not going to say this just because I'm a Knicks fan. The Knicks in the playoffs is good for the NBA.
Oh
The
yeah.
Knicks in the playoffs is a lot more entertaining than a lot of other series. A lot of other series are good, but the Knicks make it entertaining. They make it really, and like you're like, wow, you really get into it because it's just the style and the way that the Knicks play. And now that they have Jose Alvarado, man, it's gonna be it's gonna be very highly entertaining. See, Cartagena 2262 says, salute, ladies, salute to you. APAP said, if we win a championship ring, send one to Yabusele. Big Butt ain't getting no I call him Big Butt. He ain't getting no ring. Rondu says Sochan helps out our biggest need, defense. Yeah. Yeah. Tony Crow Nixon bruises. Salute to you, Tony. Said watching from work. Appreciate you, Tony. Always listening to Tony's shows. Him and DJ Shuttle always do a really good job. Then Tony's also on with Sim on Nothing But Knicks, and they do the Losers Lounge. Always listening to Sim as well. Sim does the late night.
Yeah,
He's
right.
like, yeah, Sim is like the 11 p.m. shows, but people be up watching. Sim, I look and Sim have 1,500 views. So people be up listening to Sim. Listen, when I was in Thailand, I was definitely listening to the show. So I was listening to all the Nick of Time, Dope Soul Sports Collective, Tony Crow, all of the shows. I was listening to everybody because I was doing a lot of walking out there. So I would just put my earpods in, and while I was walking the loud streets of Thailand, I would just listen to the shows. And it was nice because it kept me abreast of what was going on. And it's nice to hear other Knicks content creators and what they have to say, as
Yeah.
well as the chat. We say this all the time. It's nice to hear what you guys have to say and learn and hear your takes. We learn something new as well. OG has poor pain tolerance. I wouldn't say that because I've seen, or he low. Okay, yeah, because I'm like, I've seen OG sometimes the way he falls on the floor, it kind of reminds me of when the Knicks used to have J.R. Smith. Remember when he used to fall on the floor? You used to like you didn't. I used to look at him like he didn't break nothing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Looked like somebody just dropped him from a roof. I'm like, how is he getting back up? Is that I know I every time J.R. Smith would fall on the floor, I used to go, damn, he ain't break nothing. You bloop, loud plump on the floor, and he would get up like it was nothing. He was like a rubber band, his body. Well, technically, McCullough is not on the main roster. He's a two-way player, so I understand how they are using him very carefully. Yeah, and again, when he had that one good game, I wasn't expecting McCullough to play, get into the rotation. Yeah, exactly. Kareem can't miss those easy bunnies. Josh, Mr. Complain about every foul heart. We can't miss free throws in the playoffs. They're critical. They're critical. I don't think Brunson just would rather have an MVP, NBA Cup trophy. He wants it all.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the end goal, please.
Right.
A
Kareem
trophy.
said, I'd rather have playoff security. I think we need a season big. I can't trust Robinson and Cat. To me, he is not a center. Yeah. But Cat played really well in the playoffs last year. He came up big for the Knicks. Not to say Mitch didn't as well. Mitch was huge. But I get a little nervous with, and this is I'm so happy we brought this up. Does Mitchell Robinson play back to backs in the playoff series, or is he going to be utilized in the first game, the third game, maybe some minutes in the fourth game, and then not real? You know what I mean? Like now, I didn't even think about that till I read that other comment, and I'm like, wait a minute. I wonder how they're going to utilize Mitch in the playoffs. Yeah, I agree. The Knicks definitely needed Mitch against Indiana. J No 14 salute to you said, yeah, we need another big, but who and how? I wish it would have been easy, but we gotta hope we get lucky and our guys hold up. Right now, as soon as Mitch goes down, I think we're done. Listen, all we could do is pray that Mitch stays healthy, because I think that's too much of a feat to put all that on Cat. And I think under Brown, Cat is doing a little bit of everything, but and you see it too when Cat's not in, the Knicks look like little tiny players.
Yeah, yeah,
Can't even get a rebound.
yeah.
So yeah, Pat is not a threat in compared to Mitch. I know I was calling Pat instead of Cat. Yeah, Anna girl, we did. We talked about Sojan. Said Knicks just added wing depth who can defend, should help against long athletic teams. Yeah, trust me, he's gonna come in handy, Jeremy. Yeah, I'm telling you, I wouldn't steer you wrong. Unrivaled. They're doing one versus one. You don't want to be bored with the NBA All Star shenanigans. Maybe the game and the format, the new format, I will be checking that out on Sunday. But Friday and Saturday, if you want to watch something a little bit more entertaining, um, I would check it out. See, Unrivaled is innovative as hell. It is.
Yeah.
Love watching Unrivaled. Wonder Woman said, I agree. It's very entertaining. What a smart league they came out with that one. Yeah, the schedule is going to be brutal when the Knicks come back. But you know what? That's a good test for the Knicks. I think the Knicks need to be under a good test. Yeah, we'll be covering the Liberty if the WNBA can come up with the contract agreement because right now it's not looking good. The players want to get paid, and the latest I saw, I sent it to you. I think I sent you the post of the latest terms that they came up with that they are proposing to give to the WNBA players, and that was one of them was unlimited or something like that, all-star tickets, um, maternity, like a longer maternity leave, uh, rooms for like their kids if they have kids, but nothing about more money. They want their money. They don't care about freaking tickets to a game.
It's like, why
So
can't we got kids? Like 10% of them? Like, if?
right. So, if they can, if not, it'll be a lockout and Unrivaled and AU. That's the other league, right? AU. They'll be probably prolonged and they'll just play, which those leagues are more entertaining anyway. So I don't know. Yeah, Divalux actually has Knicks Crocs. I'm not even exaggerating.
I do.
See, Isaiah Stewart he reminds me of what's his name from the Warriors?
Oh, green.
That's him. They gotta be brothers. Always want to fight and do these ninja moves. It's basketball, not ninja, not WWE. Why are you doing that in the game? Yeah, the tickets are on sale. I used to be a season ticket holder. They sending me things all the time. I didn't renew my season tickets this year. One
Who
because they got
wait, hold on. I look. Who doubt my Crocs?
yeah, they thought I was exaggerating. She really has literally she has every Knicks. type of gear you could think of to put on. But yeah, the Liberty tickets are on sale, but I didn't renew my season ticket pass only because I'm not around, but also they got a new coach. They that whole contract agreement, it's not looking good. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It may be a blackout. It may not be any WNBA this year because the players are standing 10 toes down. They want their money. They don't want $50,000 anymore. They don't want $100,000 anymore. $200,000 to, and that's only going to if you like if you are Angel Reese. The
Oh,
other players who are just as good, they want their money, and rightfully so. So until Adam Silver and Kathy can figure it out, it's looking like it may not be no WNBA this year. And I stand with them. Don't give in. Get your money. Get paid. So APAP said, well, they better get it done. I got my tickets for June. Listen, don't buy no more tickets. Don't buy no more tickets. Just, hold on. I'm hoping for the best, but they want what they want. They want their money. So anything else for you, Diva Locks, before we get out of here?
no, I mean, I just after the All Star break, I think that's going to be a testament for the Knicks. Um, it's going to be a grind for them. It's 27 games left for the season. Um, it's going to be nothing but adversity. Nothing's going to come easy, and they
Right.
just, for me, they just, again, like you always allude to, consistency is what's going to bring them over that hump. Um, and that physicality, they're gonna have to bring that physicality night in and night out. And yeah, I just want to see what they're gonna do for the remainder of those games, because as I said, was it like the season before last? You know, the the post and just the finals for the East is, as it's looking, it's gonna go through Detroit.
Yeah.
And let's face it, they are, although the Knicks are favored, but they're gonna have to get through Detroit, and they won last year, but Detroit is a different team, just like how the
They
Knicks
are.
is. So that's why
Just
you
that
can't.
figured out how to defend the Knicks.
Yep, exactly. So I mean, I think I'm just excited for the second half and of the season, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, same. I'm looking forward to the lineup, the scheduling that the Knicks have. This is a good test for the Knicks. So I'm curious to see what the Knicks do. I believe in them, but we'll see. We'll see. But salute to everybody in the chat for joining us. We had a good turnout today, and we'll be back after All Star break, unless something pops off and then we got something to talk about. But we always are watching the news. Diva Locks is like, I low key think that she's been applying to work at Bleacher Report because she's always on it like a hawk, unless she's trying to come for Sham's job. I don't know, but um, we will be on the lookout, and I'll be watching other Knicks content creators in the meantime. But we'll be back after the All Star break. And shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to all the other Knicks content creators as well. And yeah, enjoy All Star Weekend this weekend, everybody. And check out and support Unrivaled as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend and your cousin. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And until next time, peace. And as Diva Locks always says, let's go Knicks.
Peace.